8 countries in 2 months, Africa and Europe. What up, internet world? It's your boy Jermaine, back another video, and I just got back from this epic trip, and I thought I would just sit down and make a video talking about this trip. I have taken a lot of trips in my day, but this one by far has been my favorite trip I've ever taken, and let's just jump right into it. Now, this trip lasted for 2 months. When I first left the US, I had planned about half of this trip, and I sort of left the other end open just in case I found cheap flights or just in case some things popped up along the way. So that's pretty much what I did. So this trip started off, I was waiting for the new GoPro 7. As soon as I got the new GoPro 7 in my hands, that's when I took off. So 2 days after the GoPro was released, I was gone. I flew over to Copenhagen, spent a couple days in Copenhagen, Denmark. And wow, I had a blast in Copenhagen, but it was cold in Copenhagen, and also Copenhagen is not the cheapest place in the world. From Copenhagen, I took a overnight ferry over to Oslo. Oslo was pretty dang cool, pretty dang expensive. Oslo city is the most expensive city that I've traveled to. Man, things were expensive. I remember just going to 7-Eleven and just like getting a canned Coca-Cola, and it was like $3 at a 7-Eleven. I remember just having random like Asian food, and it was like $15 just for like a plate of rice with vegetables. I mean, it was insane. Like, definitely not a cheap place. Spent a couple days in Oslo, had fun in Oslo, met some Syrian refugees, and it was just a very cool place. I was very surprised to see so many electric cars in Oslo. Oslo, that's the way to go. Norway, I like the way you guys are going with the whole electric cars and the whole green energy thing. That's what's up. That's what's up. Now, from Oslo, I took a flight down to Lisbon, Portugal. Now, I actually did not vlog this. Well, I did vlog it, but somehow I don't know what happened to the footage, but went down to Portugal. This was like a 24-hour layover. I was not there. Actually, I don't even think it was a 24-hour layover. I think this was an 18-hour layover. Wasn't there long at all. Ended up going from the airport to the hostel, hanging out in that little area for that night. I actually don't even remember what area that was because it was only for one night, but just hung out in this funky area. The hostel that I stayed at was called the G-Spot Hostel, which was a pretty interesting, cheap party hostel. Pretty fun place to stay for one night. So stayed there, walked around that area, hung out, and then the next morning I explored just a little bit and then rushed over to the airport around, I don't know, 3 o'clock. Caught a flight from Lisbon going down to Fez, Morocco. So, oh yes, 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 I'm on the way to Africa, yo. It's kind of interesting about this trip because when I look back on this trip, I kind of forgot that I even went to Europe. I didn't spend that much time in Europe, but I definitely went to Europe. But thinking of this trip, I don't even really remember Europe. It's all like Africa, 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 you know? So went down to Morocco, and Morocco, up until this point, I had planned this part of the trip. I had planned going to Denmark. I had planned going to Norway, as well as the really short layover in Portugal. And after Morocco, I was up in the air. The plan was just to go from Morocco to Spain, and then Spain back to California. This way, I would have spent 1 month on this trip. But this trip turned into 2 months instead of 1 month, which was totally fine. I planned and booked flights that way so I could kind of go with the flow. This worked out really, really great because from there, I found a super cheap flight from Germany going down to Windhoek, Namibia. And I was super stoked. But at the same time, I knew, yo, if I go down this far, if I go down the southern region of Africa, this trip is going to last a whole nother month. Because there's no way I'm just going to go to, like, Namibia and then, you know, fly back and then go back to the U.S. Like, I'm going to have to travel around South Africa. I'm going to have to, you know, either go to Lesotho or Swaziland or Botswana. I'm going to have to add more countries, you know, on this whole trip. So that's exactly what I did. So after I, you know, explored Morocco, I actually spent, like 2.5 weeks in Morocco. Did not stay in Morocco as long as I wish I could have. The highlight of Morocco was going to the Sahara Desert. So when I was in the airport, I was talking to this American couple, and this other American woman overheard me. So when I got off the flight, she asked me, she's like, hey, where are you staying? You want to share a taxi? Whenever I'm in the airport and someone asks me, you want to share a taxi? I'm always like down to do it if they're going in the same direction. And she was going pretty much the same exact direction I was going. So I was like, yeah, totally. Let's share a taxi. So we end up sharing a taxi. After we shared a taxi, we went to her place to drop her bag off first. And when we went to her place, you know, the guy greeted us, gave us both tea, and he also told us about this desert tour. And he said it's 150 euros. It's really, really cool. You'll really like it. They'll take you out to the desert. You can see sand dunes. You can ride camels. You can sleep in the desert. I was thinking, yo, this sounds pretty dang epic. This is something I definitely want to do. Like, let's do it. But I didn't want to sign up at the place she was staying at because I wasn't staying there. So, to make a long story short, when I checked into the hostel later that I was staying at, they offered me the same exact tour that they offered at the place that she was staying at. So this is a sign. Let's go on this freaking tour. Let's do it. And then the next morning at breakfast, right before I got ready to pay, I met some people who had just got back from that tour, and they said, man, well, I had a blast on this tour. It was great. We got to do this. We got to do that. Had a blast, right? So I said, look, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. So I signed up for this tour, went alone, didn't know anyone, met this Italian dude, met this guy from Argentina. We had a freaking blast. This tour was like, 3 days in the desert. We actually extended and stayed a 4th day in the desert. Oh man, the desert was amazing. It was like this little shop in the desert, and they sold like literally 15 products, like literally 15 products. You could get Coca-Cola or you get water. Of course, there's no alcohol there because this is a Muslim country. Alcohol, you can find alcohol, but you're not going to find alcohol like very, very convenient. You're going to have to like look high and low, and then you still might be dry. But I mean, you can find alcohol, but it's just not the easiest thing. This shop didn't have any alcohol. I don't even think the place that I stayed at had alcohol. So if you're the type of drinker, like you might have problems in Morocco, because Morocco is a Muslim country. But that little shop was like super cool. They only sold 25 products. It was amazing just being in the desert and just looking around everywhere, and it's just sand. Thought that was sick. Thought that was amazing. It's something that I don't see in places that I typically travel to, because I'm a city traveler. I love cities. I love being in big cities. I love large metropolitan areas. Yeah, that's just me. But this place wasn't like that at all. Then after Morocco, I ended up flying from Morocco, had a quick layover in Barcelona, and then from Barcelona to Munich, Germany. I'd already been to Germany before, so Germany's not a new country. However, I've never been to Munich, and since that super cheap flight going down to Nibia was flying from Germany. It was flying from Munich. I went to Munich a couple days before so I can explore Munich, so I can check out Munich, see what Munich's like. I really like Munich. Munich, Germany was a very interesting city, very American feel. Lots of BMWs, but that figures because BMW is from Germany. They also had this BMW museum there, so I got to check out this super cool BMW museum. Wow, what a cool BMW museum. One thing I really loved about the BMW museum was the more newer, modern, updated part of the BMW museum, because they show off all sorts of electric cars and composites and all sorts of like super cool stuff. And then there's the old side of the BMW museum where you can see all the classic BMWs. I'm honestly not that big fan of classic cars. I like the latest cars, you know, and then as soon as the new one comes out, like, I'm not that big a fan of the old one anymore. I kind of like the new one. That's just me. But if you really like classic BMWs, yo, check out the BMW museum in Munich, Germany. Unreal, amazing, stunning place. I was only in Munich for a couple days because the main event was to fly down to Southern Africa, the Southern African region of the world. I wanted to check out, explore some countries there. So after 2 or 3 days in Munich, caught a flight going down to Windhoek. Yo, I was so excited. So excited, because this is literally the first time that I'm traveling to like a black country, like a country where everybody's black. Well, majority of the people are black. Like literally flying into the airport, I thought it was super dope. Customs, everybody's black. The police, everybody's black. Everybody working in the airport, everybody's black. All the people that are like outside, like working on the planes, are all black. I'm like, yo, this is cool. Like, I don't really see this too much in America unless I'm in Memphis, Tennessee or Atlanta, Georgia, you know. Certain neighborhoods, it'd be real thick like that, but not most places in the U.S. Yeah. Not most places like that. Even you look at the money, you see black people on the money. It's like, yo, where am I? I must be in Africa. Interesting, because so many people on YouTube were telling me, yo, you should go to Africa. You should go to Africa. And You know, honestly, I was just putting it off because I'm like a budget backpacker, and like I literally found this flight from Germany going down to Namibia for $198. That's a pretty cheap flight, so that's pretty much why I went. And I actually booked a round trip flight, so I'm gonna go back in like March. Yeah. Anyway, I was talking about Namibia, so I got down to Namibia and I was on Tinder. And guys, I'm just gonna be honest. Like, my Tinder game, at least in the Bay Area, is like not good. Like, not good. So when I'm in the Bay, like, I just don't even feel beautiful for some reason, because I notice that like girls never hit on me, like dudes never hit on me, like no one ever hits on me in the Bay. Like, I notice that people don't like check me out. I just feel like ugly. Like, when I'm in the Bay, I'm on Tinder, I swipe like 100 swipes and then I might get 2 matches, you know? So in the Bay, like, my self-esteem is like, it's like, honestly, it's not like too high, you know? I just feel ugly, you know? I'm just some unattractive dude. Like, this is how I feel when I'm in San Francisco, you know? And usually when I travel, like, I'm not really on dating apps that much, like, because like I'm like brainwashed just living in the Bay Area that like I'm ugly and people don't want to talk to me, and like I'm just lame. Like, I have no life. Like, I'm just a dude that makes YouTube videos, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm just not that important. So I'm in Germany and I'm swiping on Tinder and I'm noticing, yo, I'm getting a lot of matches in Germany. So I catch a flight and I'm going down to Namibia, and before I arrive there, I have the Tinder passport app. I'm a loser. I pay for Tinder. So I change it to Windhoek. And I'm on Tinder. And in Germany, I'm getting a lot of matches. So I'm starting to feel like different about myself. I'm like, I'm getting a lot of matches. And I'm like talking to hella chicks. But I actually didn't meet anyone in Germany because I wasn't in Germany very long. But actually, I did talk to this one lady who was like 45. And yo, we were talking on WhatsApp, and I don't know, like, she's like, whenever you're in Munich, like, I want you to come hang out with me, and blah, blah, blah. Like, it was insane. Like, she's, like, older. She could be, like, sugar mama status. Like, I don't know. Maybe if I go back to Munich, but I have no plans on going back to Munich anytime soon. But who knows? Maybe I should go back. Maybe I got me a sugar mama in Munich. Or not. Like, we've been talking on WhatsApp for a little bit. But, yeah. Anyway, so my confidence was rising, right? Because I'm talking to hella people, but I'm not really talking to anybody. But at least I'm matching and I'm chatting. This is something I don't really do that much in the Bay. But when I switch my location to Windhoek, Namibia, yo, I was literally like matching with like every other chick, and I'm getting to the point where like I'm like, what, really? How am I matching with all these chicks? So before I get there, like I'm already like feeling like really good about myself, because I'm like, dang, yo, like for some reason, like I'm attracted down here. Like, I don't know. And it was just super cool because the girls were like, it was like white girls, it was black girls, like it was hella broad. I actually only started talking to one girl, like the chick I went camping with, the girl from Switzerland. She was super cool. After arriving in Namibia, a couple days later, I met up with her. We went camping. Yo, camping was amazing. I had so much fun. We went on this safari in a Tosho National Park. I was blown away. I was literally having the time of my life. And then I said, look, I can't stay here. I can't stay here this whole trip. I can't stay here this whole trip. Like, I was making mad connections. Like, I met up with this hip-hop producer, and then I was hanging out with these chicks who were producing music, and one was from Botswana, the other one was from South Africa. I ended up making some super cool connections with our broadcasting station in Windhoek. Like, I said, yo, let's get out of here. Let's go down to Cape Town. Got to Cape Town. It's with South Africa, yo. Fell in love with Cape Town. Cape Town, amazing place. Amazing place. Amazing vegan food. Some of the best vegan food I've had. I think my favorite vegan restaurant on earth is in Cape Town. Yes, Cape Town, hands down, amazing. Lots of horrible things I heard about Cape Town. It's unsafe. You can't walk at night. You'll get robbed. I heard so many stories like this. I didn't personally feel that when I was there, but I also was in like the touristy area, and it was lots of security guards everywhere. Tabletop Mountain, amazing to hike. Lion's Head Mountain, even better view than Tabletop Mountain to hike. Guys, Cape Town like has a part of my heart. From Cape Town, I went over to Durban. And then from Cape Town, I went to Durban. I experienced major culture shock in Durban. Fell in love with Durban. Durban, what an amazing place. Like, what an amazing place. Like, just, Durban is what they don't show on TV in the US because they don't want to show how black people really live in other parts of the world. Like, wow. Like, I don't want to really get into Durban in this video. If you're new to my YouTube channel, maybe I'll put the video up above here, but yeah, but Durban was just epic. Beautiful beaches, beautiful people, just everybody just having a blast. Everybody's chill, relaxed. I love Durban. And then from Durban, Johannesburg. Johannesburg at first wasn't my favorite place. Johannesburg came around on me. I started to really like Johannesburg after I went over to Swaziland, which is a whole nother little country that is landlocked inside of South Africa. Swaziland was just a very different trip. The weather there wasn't too hot. It rained half of the days I was there, meaning that I spent a lot of time indoors and didn't really get to explore Swaziland like I wanted to. But like I say, the weather wasn't the greatest when I was there. I did get to go hiking one day, and it was this mad scare of rain, and we ended up going hiking anyway, and it actually didn't really rain. It sprinkled a little bit, but just looking up at the sky, it looked like it was going to pour like any minute now. So guys, you know, this trip was definitely like the best trip I've taken in my life. Like, it was the best trip, and I got to experience different places that I don't typically go. Like, I don't typically go to Africa just because it's so far away. I mean, Northern Africa is not that far, but like Southern Africa is pretty far away from California. I mean, I'm talking about like 2 12-hour flights or an 11-hour flight and a 12-hour flight. That's pretty dang far, yo. Like, that's a long way. Like, that's almost 24 hours of just getting there. That's almost a day subtracted, like, just being wasted on just going there, and not including coming back. Like, it's just a really, really long way, and this is one reason why I haven't traveled to Africa, because it's so far away. And there's also a lot of rumors that Africa is very, very expensive, and this is true, but not every country is expensive. South Africa definitely wasn't the most expensive country that I've been to, but also South Africa doesn't require visas, and South Africa doesn't require shuts. So as long as you can get a cheap flight to South Africa can be a pretty inexpensive trip. Hotels and hostels and eating food in South Africa was pretty inexpensive. Now, food is probably not the cheapest. You know, maybe you'll pay anywhere from like $5 to $7 for a decent meal. Unlike Thailand, you can find a lot of decent meals for like $3, $4, $5. But, you know, maybe food's slightly more expensive, but accommodations, on the other hand, you'll definitely save there. There's also a few different budget airlines you can fly around, so you can definitely find inexpensive flights traveling from Cape Town to Johannesburg or Cape Town to Durban. I'm talking about flights for under $50 you can usually find. So that's another thing to point that out. On this trip, I was gonna maybe hit up Mozambique and also Botswana, but instead I just ended up booking a round-trip flight, so I'm gonna fly back in March, and then I'll begin traveling from South Africa, maybe head up to Tanzania, that area. Who knows? I'm still up in there. I just got this travel bug. I'm still trying to hit 100 countries, and traveling to 100 countries, wow, it can kind of get exhausting, a lot to think about. But I'm at country 46 now, 46 countries I've traveled to. The kid that grew up in Memphis, Tennessee, who grew up in the bad part of Memphis, Tennessee, has been to 46 countries. Like, look at that. How great is life? Life is good. Life is wonderful. Guys, thanks a lot for watching. If you watch this video to the end, I just want to thank you for watching this video, because this really means a lot. I spent a lot of time making videos, and when you guys watch, that lets me know that I'm doing something right. So, thanks a lot for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that like button. I'm going to say it one more time, hit that like button. And thanks a lot for watching. Peace out, yo. Travel light, travel hard.